Welcome, welcome. Well, I haven't made a video in a long time. Skull and Bones, though, I guess I'm gonna start covering again. Obviously, we're going into year 2 now, and the game's actually kind of at a release state now. It was released, obviously, a year ago, and it had a very rough launch because it was launched way too early. But I digress. Let's get you through this. Let's get you through the info. See what they're actually telling us without a little fluff, hopefully. I might ramble a little bit because I haven't made a video in a long time, but trust me, you'll be fine. I'll be fine. We'll all be fine. So basically, all that this is saying is, we've looked at the HELM Empire. We've wanted to expand it. Their long-term position is basically to make the HELM Empire passive income that you get, but also generating resources and have some other interesting reasons to interact with it, so it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing like it has been in the past. Item Ascension, I don't know a lot about this because I've been away from the game, but basically I've heard people online complain a lot about it just because it really has ruined the PvP balancing, which we will get to later, and they get to that as well, which is a very, very good sign. This whole letter is great. Read it yourself if you want. It's on screen. You can pause it if you need. World tiers, they're explaining that while they added world tiers and it added some good challenge for people, they want to basically overall enhance it, give people more options, and let players find kind of the area of difficulty that they're comfortable with, both for PvP and PvE. Density, this here, they're admitting fault. That's good. They're saying, hey, we understand that some events run into each other, and that can make it so, like, you've got maybe boss number 1, you've almost got him down, and then boss number 2, just, you happen to go by the area, and then they one-shot you. Obviously, bad player experience, not what they want. They're going to tone down the density short term so they can get a better problem fix for it. My assumption and my guess based on my industry experience is that the more robust improvement which they're talking about here to solve the issue long term will be some kind of way for the boss's AI to basically flag people and say, hey, this person's busy with another boss, so even if you come by the area, the boss won't probably attack you unless you attack on them or flag on them, that kind of thing. That would be my best long-term fix, because obviously the other end of the issue is if you're looking for a specific world event, you need all the world events to pop more often. Otherwise, you could spend your 45 to 2-hour gaming session, then maybe that's all you have, and you might not be able to do the world event you want to do even once for whatever materials you need. So they need some kind of way to introduce the events, have a lot of them on screen, but then not also, have you getting hit by like 2 or 3 enemies at the same time. That kind of is what this goes over. The balance, they are looking to avoid bullet sponging and one-shotting. They're basically trying to make the AI more advanced for the bosses for PvE. That's great for all you PvPers out there. PvEers is what I meant, but there you go. Fair reward to effort ratio. This is something the community has complained upon repeatedly, and they've repeatedly upped the rewards, which I think is pretty reasonable at the pace they're doing it. The rewards for all the events that you choose to do are much better than they have been in the past. Now is a great time to get in on the game. If you want a pirate game to just be a pirate on a ship, that's pretty much what it is. That's this whole game now. And it looks like they're going to keep supporting it past year 2. There was a big thing that they weren't going to keep supporting it, and I'm glad that they are, because this game has a ton of potential. And it's finally getting to the point where if you're more of a casual gamer or something and you want to pop in just see how things are going, now is a good time to get a handle on that. They're adding little world maps. They've done tons of UI updates. These little beams here used to be huge honking beams, looked really bad. Now they're just like nice. You can tell what they are, what the rarity of this and this is if you've ever played an RPG in your life. I'm guessing you have if you're watching this. And then they're trying to explain that they're also trying to make these more digestible. So like right here, all of these are much easier to read than they have had in the past. That's great news. Biggest, best news, death tides. And now I know PvEers not going to be interested in this, but for the PvP players, this is what we've been waiting since launch. This was supposed to be at launch, was not at launch, and really people were worried they were never going to add it. Thankfully, people like me have been repeatedly telling the devs, the PvP drives the PvE economy. That's just how it works. The point of a game that has PvP, where you collect the gear to then go into the PvP, means the PvE side is where you collect the gear, you do big challenges, you get big rewards to put on your cool ship, and then you get to take that and show it off to other players through a team-based dedicated PvP mode. And the reason that it's good to have team-based is that it just makes it so you don't have like a bunch of people who are maxed out one-shotting them. Obviously, there's been some issues because some of the PvE gear is super high tuned compared to the PvP side of things, and they're already saying that they want to keep things basically separate balancing wise is what they're implying. They're implying they're going to balance some of the PvE stuff here separately, overall PvE experience dimension, because they're, some things are arguably less impactful, they're saying, for the PvE. I personally agree with that, but we can talk about that later. And then we're just going to focus on rebalancing all aspects of Skull and Bones. So the idea with the balancing overall is have good balancing for PvE for PvP only players, have good balance for PvP only players, and have good balance across the game for most of us who like both. I love PvE, it's fun, sometimes I just want to mess around with friends, be a little pirate. Sometimes I want that PvP experience and I just want to stunt on some bros, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. But basically, this is just saying, hey, Oaths of War, that's the name for Season 2 and Year 2, launching the 15th. I don't know how long I've been recording now, but probably too long. They got another Megafort coming. This is something not super surprising. Looks like it's going to be the strongest one yet. I believe that's the French flag. I'm terrible with flags, but these things are always super tough. A good thing that they're mentioning here is that they're going to ensure, that's a big important word for the matchmaking system, ensure that you have more than a party of 3 to work together and seize victory. So that's showing they're trying to get, basically the back end working for us, the player, telling us, hey, we're going to try to put a dedicated matchmaking into these things to make sure that we can find people across multiple servers. As we know, everything's instanced in this game. So there's lots of times where, you might have, I'm just going to throw random numbers out there, but let's say you have 100 servers and every server has 10 people, and you're on a server and 9 of your friends don't want to play this thing. The matchmaking will hopefully help you find the 3 other people across those 100 servers quickly, effectively, where you at least have a decent chance at defeating these megaforts, because they are quite difficult. You have to be pretty good if you're on a weaker end ship. If you have less health, you can't just tank all the damage. You really have to be just good at sailing, driving, whatever you want to call it. And then we got a faction war. This is coming mid-season. I had no idea about this. This looks amazing, again, if you're into PvP. This looks like it'll be kind of the bridge between a PvP and a PvE, where we get to like pick a side. We've seen this in games where Ubisoft has done before, like For Honor. In For Honor, there's like 3 or 4 factions. There's like knights and ninjas and something else. And the point was basically you pick a faction, and across a whole season, so like 3 months, 4 months, whatever, your faction, whenever you make money for the faction as a total, and if your faction makes the most, you get like special cosmetics, special EXP things, I think, on For Honor. So I don't know what we'll get here. We'll probably get pieces of 8, maybe some cool special gear. It'll probably run side by side, with the Season Pass stuff that they're trying to do. The Season Pass for this game has been amazing. It doesn't dissipate after a certain amount of time. If you buy it, you get it forever. At least that's the last time I played. That's how it was, which is great. That's how it's been since the beginning of this game. It shows Ubisoft is learning a live service game can be successful. However, for a live service game to be successful, people have to want to play it and want to spend the money on season passes. And nothing will make me spend money slower than a season pass that says, okay, well, you're going to pay us all this money, but you might not get everything unless you pay 8 hours a day every day for the next 4 months. Sometimes I don't got time. Sometimes, you got a job, you got stuff you got to do. And I just want more leeway to be like, hey, I'm happy to pay for the content, but I want to be able to complete that content. If it takes me 6 months, if it takes me a year, if it takes me 20 years, I want to be able to complete it on my own time. 20 years, obviously, the game probably won't exist, but who knows? And honestly, with the way things Ubisoft structuring, you never know. We got quality of life improvements here, just wind and sailing improvement. This across the board, they've repeatedly improved the wind and sailing. If you were part of the early builds of the game and you had a lot more trouble sailing, this should help you a lot. You can see right here, that is a quick turn right there. That is a super quick turn. This is obviously a quicker ship. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but quicker ship. So it should be able to kick turn like that. It'll be interesting to see how we get through that as we go down here. We got some more work in progress. All the art, all the stuff they add is just simply beautiful. And what am I looking for? The big news. I passed the big news. Obviously this part of the news. we're finally getting large ships. So if you've been waiting, this is your time. Basically, get back into the game, guys. Let me know what you think of this video. I haven't made a video covering anything in a long time. So sorry if I rambled a little bit, but looking to get back into it. Hopefully the audio quality is good. But get back in, become a pirate. You want to hit me up? Let me know. I could always use somebody to sail with. Appreciate it, and have a good one.